All right, let's see.
Yeah.
All right, so we're live, and this is Bob, and this is Caitlin right there,
Hey.
and
Hi
this
guys.
is I'm gonna start calling this my little interview things Mouse Tales.
I
So
love
this is
that.
our very first episode of Mouse Tales, not just live chat. And we have James Ryan here, our wonderful mod here today. And
Hey, James, the
hey,
mod
James.
extraordinaire.
Exactly. And Caitlin and I
We
have
were
actually we
literally
were
just
just
talking
talking
about
about it.
you.
Hey, Disinfinity, another mod extraordinaire. What's up, buddy? Thank you both for catching my stream yesterday. And Caitlin's going to tell you in a minute. She's not sure which
I'm
park
not
she's going to
sure.
hit, but she's coming to Disney tomorrow, and she's going to do some park. Bob,
I
did
don't
you
know. I
see
don't know
our
if they
new
decided if I
Halloween
want to
logo?
just do Instagram so that way I don't get overwhelmed and overstimulated from all that. Because I feel like it's a lot to stream.
It is.
Or just to do Instagram stories and just do more of them throughout the day. I'm not sure. My mom also said that she didn't want me waiting. She doesn't want to wait for me to do video. So
Ask these guys when they saw me doing 5 hours and 20 minutes of a stream yesterday. People must have been thinking, this guy's got an attention deficit disorder. He's all over the place.
well, all of us Disney fans are kind of that way already. There's so much we do in a day.
Disinfinity, I did not see your Halloween logo. Isabel, hi. I hope that your son,
The logo is
Orlando
orange
Adventures,
instead of
signs
blue.
in. What was that?
The logo is orange instead of blue.
Oh, it is. That's the logo right there. I see that. Is that temporary? Or are we going to go with that forever?
It's a very good question.
Do you have a pair? Do you have a pair of earbuds by any chance?
I do not because they're already packed.
Ah, look at that. Hold on here.
I
Here,
like
you
to
can
be
take mine.
prepared.
Just
Why does it echo?
so we have talked now for this is our third stream in about the last 30 days in the last month. And which is great. Let's see, Disinfinity, temporary until Halloween weekend is over. Awesome. We've talked about 3 times about all kinds of stuff. We've talked about personal stuff. We've talked about helping Disney cast members get through this hard time. We're going to
it got
probably
worse.
start. Yeah, we're going to start off with that right now. But we're going to go a little bit beyond that, too. So it's just been so interesting getting to know Caitlin. And she's such a sweetie pie that, even though I don't buy her spirit jerseys like some guys out there, and I don't timestamp every giggle, I still think she's really nice. And
Well, that's my Midwestern personality coming through.
right there you go. There you go. Okay, so let's catch up on this.
Yep. And apologize for this red spot, by the way. That's acne. Don't worry about it. It's nothing serious. It's just an acne spot.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
right at my glasses line, too. So most people think it's a light.
Just take the glasses and scooch them down a little. I wouldn't have even seen. There you go. What? Wait, I don't see anything. What are you talking about? It's been a long time since I've had acne. You're so young.
It's so frustrating. I had a really rough battle with it growing up, too. And then I just get it right there, right before my trip. I'm like, really?
Oh. Well, you're getting all excited. You get your juices flowing. So
I know.
okay, so all right. So what's up with what you know about? A lot of people know about the entertainment that just got laid off.
Entertainment for
What
me
do you
has been
know?
rough. I did find out some information. Disney Aspire, I have found information out. If there is any cast members who are currently in Disney Aspire, you can currently finish the term that you are on if you are laid off. However, after that month, or after that term, you unfortunately are financially liable for your own education. If you are in a GED or in a technical degree, like something that's like a shorter time, like a 12-month or 16, like an 18-month program, they will cover that. They will finish the remaining of that education. So if you're in a GED or some kind of smaller, like early childhood education, something like that. I haven't heard anything from universities yet. I'm still trying to contact them, seeing if there's a way, some way to help, those cast members in Disney Aspire, help with funding. And personally, this has hit my community now. Union cast members are now starting to find out who got laid off, who did not get laid off. I got a group about 8 to 10 cast members from my home locations, whether they are still in Disney Springs or they're still in another location, that are unfortunately laid off. These are hundreds of cast members. The page, the cast members helping cast members page lit up yesterday with so many people, saying, oh, unfortunately, I got the email. This time with unions, it was emailed because they had to put in all what was said for cast members who were unioned, and what their next steps are. Because for them, they have to deal with union liabilities and all that, and how they're supposed to do that. So, and they said that their end date, a lot of them has said different dates. Some of them have said November 1st. Some of them have said they can't work this November 1st, but then they still get benefits through December 31st. Some of them are saying that they can work until December 31st, and then they don't have benefits and a job since then. It's kind of all over the place. And entertainment, I've had a few friends in entertainment that were unfortunately laid off. And that sucks because I know how hard it is to be in entertainment. I know, the audition process already is not easy. And to be that, it's not cool.
Yeah. Well, what sucks is, especially for some of those recent entertainment, I just got laid off. I worked for the Disney Reservation Center, so I did phone sales. I did more than that. I was like a tour guide as well for certain things Disney has. But I could work temporarily until I could get back to Disney. I could work for Spectrum or something like that and be a customer service guy on a computer, right? Computer geek.
Right.
If you're a gymnast that just got laid off of the Lion King show, unless you work for a circus, which there aren't too many of those, where do you go to work in a gymnast troupe? I'm sure they have other skills, of course, but you know what I mean. That's their big thing. That's what they do. That's what they've been specializing in. So those people really are kind of left out on a limb. I really was thinking about the Lion King show people a lot. I was like, oh no. I mean, maybe they can go to Broadway, when Broadway is back open.
Down. They're not even supposed to restart Broadway until January of next year.
So you could work in the Lion King show on Broadway if it's...
And if you guys care about entertainment and you guys want to keep them, because you guys, I'm telling you, guest voices do matter. If you guys want cast members back, please send them emails to their guest service line. People have been sharing it on their Instagrams and Twitters all day today that are either in the cast community or care about the entertainment, or sending them a letter. If as many people send voices out, Disney won't have to hear about it. If Disney has many people saying, hey, we don't like that you're laying off entertainment, like that's what sets you guys apart from other theme parks. Because I feel like most people, they don't think about Disney for the rides or the food. They think of Disney with the entertainment, the parades, the fireworks, the meet and greets. We know those can't happen right now for certain. However, those shows can come back. Even if there may be a limited cast and a limited amount of people in the group. That's what's so confusing to me is that, I feel like Disney could make that happen and bring entertainment to the parks slowly back into place. We'll never be at wait until full capacity to do the full shows again. But until that time, do a limited show with maybe some of the cast. And and still do something about it. You know, cast members can still make magic, and I'm telling you, a lot of cast members have made sacrifices at work to do what you can, in the park, outside of the park, to make sure you guys have a magical experience. And I've had my cast member friends tell me how many additional things they've had to do in the parks, to make sure you guys stay safe. And it is a lot, and you're doing it constantly. You're getting learned about it constantly. So it's a very sad time for entertainment. Just send all the love and, you know, well wishes to entertainment. We love you guys. You guys are the true heart of what Disney is all about, and are unbelievable workers. Some of them do like 4 or 5 shows, which is insane. And especially parts out to the Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. That was one of my personal favorites.
Yeah.
And one of the most underrepresented, you know, cast group. They deserve to have a spotlight too. You know, they do this. I'm sure they're scheduled a day. Can you imagine how many shows they do and have to change gears all the time to make it relevant and fun and upbeat? And, you know, it's really hard. But voice your opinions, guys. If you're mad about the entertainment layoffs, please email Disney. That is the best chance for you guys to voice your opinion and to continue helping those cast member resources, whether it's cast member pantry, the food banks. Magic from Magic Makers just depleted all of her funds. We need to replenish her funds back. She has lost pretty much everything. She has helped about 14 people right now. She just talked to a recipient today. And her list is ever growing now. Like, she's saying that there's at least 10 people on her waiting list right now.
Yeah, the thing that's really getting me, and I know it's getting you too, because Caitlin and I talked for about 15 minutes before we got on live. And I said, hey, how are you? I saw you on Instagram. You seem kind of sad. And what's going on is... we're
seeing some of the magic fade.
Yeah, the magic is fading. But, of course, we recognize we're in this world that's not so magical. And it's a matter of degree. Disney is more magical than a lot of other people and a lot of other things. However, but the people who are there, just think about, you know, it just keeps, every time we feel like they keep, it's like this stable position on slippery ice. You know, it's like, yeah, we've made these cutbacks. We're not going to do any more cutbacks. And a few weeks later, shoom, you know, shoom, shoom, just slipping down this icy slope. And of course, it has
totally 100% different.
And it has the people who are still working there, people that we know, terrified, all of them, because they know that no job is safe. Even if you're a leader, even if you've been there for 26 years, no job is safe.
We also heard about Disneyland Paris is also closing. Paris just announced that they're going under a second lockdown, which it makes me nervous. You know, is it going to happen here in the U.S. again?
Yeah.
I hope not. I hope people just, I understand people's political views, but guys, keep your political views separate and just wear a mask for everyone. And if you're at the parks, please wear it correctly, because a lot of my Disney Springs cast friends says that people aren't wearing the mask like they should. Please respect the rules. You are on private property. You have to follow Disney's guidelines, and cast members can kick you out if you're not listening to them and not wanting to follow instructions.
Which they are actually. When I was live streaming in the parks yesterday, and they have altered the announcement that goes off like every 15 minutes, and it literally does say now you need to put your mask over your mouth and nose, which about 15% of people through the parks don't do, and they don't care. And they say basically if you don't comply, you'll be asked to leave. They have, I think it's surprising. They've only had, how many have you seen? 2 or 3 publicized events where people are going off saying, I won't wear a mask. I think it's amazing that they haven't had more than that, considering that every time I go to a Walmart. Actually, I went to an aquarium store the other day, and there was a guy going off, and the place was like 20 by 20. So a place like Disney, I'd say they're doing really, really well. But that's where we are right now. As Caitlin was saying, everybody's panicked. No one feels their job is safe. More and more people are losing their jobs, and we don't know where it's going to end. And we're trying to be positive. But be as supportive as you can of the cast. Put your darn mask on. And actually, when I was there yesterday at Magic Kingdom...
Please appreciate what they do. They're sacrificing so much, and they're doing so much on their plate right now. Just say thank you if you guys see a really great cast member. Please just say thank you. Those two words are the most magical things that a cast member hears. And trust me, you do not hear them a lot.
I can tell you personally, and so can Caitlin, and so could my wife. If you work at Disney, it's for the lifestyle. Okay, it would be like being a whitewater rafting guide or something. It is not for the money. These people do not make very much money at all, so they do it for the love of it, is what I'm saying. And so it's not.
And that even hurts even more.
That's what I mean. It's so hard to love doing it the way you used to now. So they need your virtual hugs and kisses, giving them some magic back more than ever before. If you want to see Disney come back, please support those cast members, because it's sad. I'm sorry. Sorry to say.
I'm trying not to be sad.
I know.
Also, college program news. We did hear some college program news. Chatham, Patterson Court, and Commons is completely gone. They are no longer going to be apartments for college program students anymore. It is official. They have just made the announcement. That's really hard because I stayed at Patterson Court during my time. That apartment building, by the way, Patterson Court, is not the newest apartment. That is the newest apartment to date. And that was only built in 2008, 2009. It is not, it's just turned 10 years old. And that makes me really sad because those are really big hubs. Chatham's a really big hub for college program. Those are where all the welcome parties are. Those are where the movie nights are. That's where your graduation ceremony is. And grocery bingo. I love grocery bingo. So it's basically being a bingo, and if you win, you get like a thing of goodies of groceries for your apartment. It's great.
That's cool.
And
Disinfinity
really
just put a link to Caitlin's channel below us, so go and please check out Make It Blue, a Disney adventure. She has really been committing her. She's done two things that I wanted to definitely talk about today, which was she has committed herself to really helping out cast members by just trying to disseminate information out there and put it out there. And she's actually made some attempts to get that out to bigger channels. So I'm trying
to get Magic to Magic Makers to people like Resort TV One, Trim Tracker, even the smaller ones. Michael K, I've been trying to talk to him. I said, hey, here's an effort that's helping cast members right now. It's based off a nomination process, which I love that. I love that, the family and friends are nominating them. The cast members themselves are nominating their coworkers. I think that's the best way to get person help, is to tell people when they're deserving of it. And that's so important. And cast members don't get enough love. The hospitality industry as a whole is a thankless job. A lot of roles at Disney, you guys don't even know as guests because they are most of the time backstage roles. And that's what...
Which is what I did. No one ever saw me.
What you do. We know you exist, but some people don't even know that there's costume cast members backstage that help us get our costumes every single day. Make sure that we have fitting stuff, and if we don't have stuff that fits, they can try to be able to find something for us that's similar that'll help us, have that Disney look aspire. And the unity of cast members is awesome. That's something that's unlike any other coworker relationship I've had. And I've worked in retail for 6 years, guys. And I was a merchandise cast member for 6 months. Merchandise at Disney is unlike any other retail job I've ever had. sure, it was a lot to learn. It was a lot to figure out. However, when you got the hang of it, it was a lot of fun to do your job. You went to job excited, sometimes really tired.
Yeah.
But mostly excited to go into work. And I haven't found a job since that's like that. But I just got a second job, which is pretty exciting.
That's great.
So I'll be working a lot more, so that would be great.
Cool.
So that's done. Because I'm working part-time right now. I'm hoping to make it full-time so that way I can, have money for college, and I'm not a broke college student who's trying to depend on things that aren't really the best for me.
All right, so Caitlin has committed. These are the two things that I was trying to talk about.
Sorry,
besides
really
other things.
But
no, it's okay. It's all right. See, I know the reason I do these graphics and stuff behind me is I know when somebody talks to me, I'm all over the place. I just keep thinking, I hope Pete reins me in. I hope the Mickey Bunch reins me in, or I'll be, everybody else. I was on the Mickey Bunch the other day, and everybody else is kind of silent, like this, and I'm just. So I think we're kind of the same. All right. So, and the second thing is, well, you've taken on, I don't know if you realize this. I mean, you do in one way, but I don't know if you take on the scope of it. You've taken on the unofficial role of interjecting your personal sort of stuff, and as talking about the Disney cast experience as like an unofficial spokesman for the disabled in the YouTube community, and talking about how great your experience with Disney is, and on the upside of things, I will tell you, there is a real reason, and Caitlin knows, there's a real reason that if in an hour Disney says, we're going to pay you $5 an hour less, and we want you to just hold a sign in the parks that says, keep your mask on, and people aren't going to like it, so it's not a great job, I'd say, okay, good, I'll do it. Because I just want to work my way back in, because they're so kind to you in other ways besides the pay. And we'll get into that.
It's not really the greatest thing in the world, but the other things are beating out the pay.
Yes.
For me, that was my leadership team. Those people stuck by me. I found out at the end of my college program, my leaders told me, hey, they said, we didn't want to tell you because we didn't want you to feel like you were getting special treatment. However, your coworkers, if you were ever overwhelmed or you felt like you needed, an overstimulation break, you needed time to get back from it. They fought with us to see who would take the break for you. I've never had that happen. I never went to medical with Disney at all during my time, which is pretty incredible. Those of you guys who know what medical is a lot of paperwork. They tried to avoid, they told me first day, they're like, we're not going to avoid this at all. We're going to just work together as a team and make this work. And if we have new people, we need to make sure to let them know that, hey, these are the warning signs. And to let all of the coordinators know about my warning signs. They asked me ahead of time. They're like, are you okay with sharing? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay with sharing my story. I went through so much, and I went through so much adversity. And now I'm at the place where nobody thought I could be, living out a dream, a fairy tale. And most people wouldn't consider it a fairy tale, but for me, it is a fairy tale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people think that their fairy tale is getting married or getting dated. I'm like, I don't care. I haven't dated. I'm 23. I haven't dated. 24 actually. I forgot my age for a moment. 24 and haven't dated yet. So it's like, I don't care.
Don't rush it. Don't rush it, Caitlin. Be choosy. I've been married. I'm on my 4th marriage now. You ain't missing nothing. Just take your time, okay? You're doing great.
I just know that disabled and dating do not go well. From what I have been heard from my disabled friends, they're like, disabled and dating is like all the problems with dating today, plus some, because then you have to try the magical game of trying to tell them when to tell them about your disabilities. And you don't want to interject too early, and you don't want to interject too late.
It's another elephant in the room. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, there's already an elephant in the room. It's an automatic elephant in the room without even noticing.
What's that back there? Is that an elephant behind you?
Well, okay. With my hearing, most people are going to know about that immediately.
Yeah.
And I also had a pretty bad experience with high school boys, so trust me, I'm taking a long, staying away from dating for a while until I feel ready. Like, I feel like I'll know when I'm ready.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
You're going to meet the magical Disney person, and you'll know. You'll know. You'll be like,
oh, yeah.
Actually,
my mom and my sister have both said, I love that you said that. My mom and my sister have both said, Caitlin, if you don't marry somebody who loves Disney as much as you do, you're going to run into a problem.
There's no way. No. Because they'll think, eventually, they'll just think, you're crazy.
They're going to think, and they're like, and my sister's like, they're going to think that you're just a crazy person that loves Disney and nothing else.
Yeah, you're going to have to change the name of your channel. It'll be That Crazy Disney Lady Part 2 or something like that.
The problem is most people think I am going to be crazy, but I'm crazy due to a couple of things that contribute to it.
Oh.
But I don't know.
So what are your thoughts on taking on the role of an unofficial YouTube disabled spokesperson? Have you thought about that? There are probably... When I used to work as a counselor in psych, a lot of people used to tell me, because I used to work with troubled adolescents was one thing I did for a long time. And I would get discouraged because I would be like, oh my God, I'm going through all this and they can't stand me. And they're like, Bob, you don't understand. They're watching how you are. They're getting inspired by not what you say, not your speech, but they might be getting inspired by things you'll never hear about. They're watching your example. So I'm wondering, are there people who have watched your example, getting out there, being on YouTube, getting out there with Disney? There's probably somebody right now that's been watching you recently that's like, as soon as there's a Disney job available, I can do this. I haven't dated until I was, I'm 25. I haven't dated yet because there's an elephant in the room. I can meet someone when COVID calms down a little bit. You know what I mean? So I wonder about that. I wonder if you're not, I
haven't seen people saying that, my voice, has made a difference yet. Like, I'm not that big yet to where I've seen that change yet. Mm-hmm. But what I have seen is seeing people's changing perspectives, which is so important because, unfortunately, disabled is the smallest minority in the world. Where only 15% of the population is disabled, diagnosed with a medical condition that either impacts our daily lives or impacts, our way to live in the world that we do today.
Right.
And so there's not a lot of us. So the problem is a lot of people don't know about the right perspective of the way to think. When those role models aren't out there. I didn't have those growing up. The only one that I can think of that was positive, that was even remotely close to what I would want to be represented, is Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. The way that he treated, disabled children was something that should have been taken care of. And I tell people all the time, I said, Mr. Rogers is a pioneer in that sense. But I find people like Molly Burke, who I absolutely love and adore to death. If you guys don't know her, please go check her out. She is a blind YouTuber that does videos about fashion and lifestyle, which is so fun. But she also shares her life about what it's like to live with retinitis pigmentosa, which is a rare eye disease where her retina is damaged. And loses vision over time, and they don't know when. She lost her vision at the age of 14, and went through a big mental health struggle, very suicidal, and made it through it. And I asked her one question, and I said, and her mom read the question because Instagram can't do voiceover on Live, which is like an iPhone program. That's what Mike Wheeler uses, is voiceover.
Oh, I've been wondering about that because I communicate with Mike, and I'm like, I wonder how he does this exactly.
So voiceover, so I can explain what voiceover is because I've kind of tried using it. Voiceover is basically like Siri, but they talk to what's on the screen. So basically, they'll hover their finger over the screen, and Siri will talk back to them when their fingers on the screen.
Oh.
But it works, but for them to to say if they want to open messages, they go over messages, but then they have to tap twice to make sure they're not hovering over something else.
Right.
And then they can still type on it, they can still do whatever. And tell people, I'm like, disabilities doesn't stop you for what you're doing, like what you love. Like Molly's blind and she loves fashion and lifestyle.
Right.
Like most people would think that would be so weird because it's like, how can you not like fashion when you not see it? But for her, it's like, it's the textures, it's the fun color that's described to her. It's the finding the cool fall trends, finding what's good for her body type. And that's what I think about being disabled is. It's like, you need to share that we're just like everyone else. And that's what I'm trying to share, is that I'm just like everybody else. Sure, I may have some challenges here and there, which happens, and everyone has them. I just have them in a more apparent way. But yeah, I say I don't like my channel to say that, I'm a disabled creator. But I'm here to tell people that, I'm just disabled, and that's a part of me, but that doesn't define me either.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And allowing myself to show, my personality and my lifestyle, to help people realize how disability doesn't have to be this big, elephant in the room. We're just like, we can just hang out on a Friday night, watch movies, on Netflix and hang out. But people don't see that, and that's what I didn't have in childhood. So many people thought, I shouldn't talk to her because she may not hear me. And that's really negative context of, there's two models of disability. There's the medical disability, which I did have to grow up in, where people thought they could cure me and fix me, and society wanted me to fit in this bubble, and labeled me in a box. But now I live the social model of disability, which is just, living with everyday life with, sure, you have challenges, but you can do it. And allowing others to see the positivity and to know that things will get better. Because the problem is kids, you're either alone, you're in a small town where nobody else is disabled, so you feel alone, and you don't know if somebody's going through it until somebody watches. So I feel like hopefully one day, I'll see the change, but right now I haven't seen that yet. But I'm sure it will. I know that some people have told me that, like, oh, you surprised me with some of the things, like you said. A lot of my cast friends have said they changed their way of thinking about a disability now. One of them had a nephew and with autism, and he said, well, now I have so much more hope, for him. And I said, please don't rely on fixing him, because I said some of his love and the personality he has is because of the disabilities he has.
Good point.
If you fix that, quote unquote, fix it, you're gonna lose that. And I say there's a positive in disability, and that is love and positivity. The most loving and positive people are going to be coming from the disabled community. All we ask is to have the world be more accessible for us, whether it's making sure closed captions, which I'm having troubles with closed captions. There's none on TikTok, and there's none on Instagram. As far as I know, that you guys can make active captioning on your Instagram stories. And that's frustrating. So all that I ask is to make the world more accessible and to make the IEP system not a burden to families, especially parents, because man, those IEP meetings are long. They're typically like 2 to 3 hours, and that's your entire year. How would you talk about your education in 2 to 3 hours and then expect for them to follow on that?
Oh, goodness.
That's all I have to say about
Mickey.
that.
You know what I was going to ask you? Just one second. You know what I've always liked very much is your logo. And so I want you to describe that to me and what that means to you. Yeah, tell us. So there it is. There it is. It's up there.
My sister drew that. I asked her about what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So has changed, and I'm thinking about changing it because since I've been on TikTok, I've been a little bit more educated about the organization that's kind of a part about this, but I kind of really don't support anymore, and that's Autism Speaks. Guys, please be very careful with Autism Speaks. As much as you guys think that they're advocating and helping people, a lot of their money goes to fixing autism and finding a cure to autism, and I don't like that. I don't mind if they ask for us to help with getting more resources, but when you are telling people that they need to be fixed and that you need to find a fix to a mental condition, a mental disorder, that's so much more hurtful than helpful, because you're basically telling parents that autism is a bad thing and you have to get rid of it. And it doesn't have to. But the significance, blue colors the autism colored for a ribbon. However, my personal representation now is going to be the rainbow infinity sign. It is another symbol for neurodiversity, which I like a lot better. So if you guys do want to support autism, please support either. I want to do the blue puzzle piece from Autism Speaks. If you want to support the puzzle piece, but do it in a way that's not associated with Autism Speaks, please use the rainbow puzzle piece. That's used a lot with families who don't support it, but they do like the puzzle piece meaning. And the rainbow infinity sign, which is very simple. It's also very similar to, for those who are in the LGBTQ company or LGBTQ community, but we kind of share the same thing.
So right now the logo is, okay, so there's a puzzle piece in there, right?
So that's significant of autism. It was an Autism Speaks thing. I'm thinking about changing it to a neurodiversity sign instead. Right. Keeping it the same blue color. Actually, I'll talk about Allie about this, so thank you for reminding me.
And is that a light bulb or is that a balloon?
So Autism Speaks did it does a big campaign in April of every single year, and that is called Light It Up Blue campaign, and it's lighting. I don't know if you've seen it, but sometimes they have they had 30 Rock go live, and they have tons of different buildings around the world go blue, and that was my significance about it. And then the Mickey ears, of course, you had to have a little bit of Disney on it.
There you go. I've always loved it. I was just like, I got to ask her to describe that to me a little bit, because
yeah, the light bulb is an autism reference. The puzzle piece, I think I am going to change that to a neurodiversity sign now that I'm educated about Autism Speaks a lot more, because I never realized that it was, that it was giving that, because they were kind of, tricking me,
Right.
And I don't like organizations that try to trick me. And also, guys, Autism Speaks, there is only one person on their entire board that has a neurodiversity, and it's not even autism. So I don't like an organization that has nobody with the disorder that can properly represent us. Like, how can you represent us when there's nobody on your board of directors that has somebody or lives with the disorder? That's where my thinking's like, how are you making the change? So please be careful with Autism Speaks. If you guys want to support an autism organization, I typically ask you guys to support Autism Society. That's usually better, as well as the Autism Self-Help Network. That's a great organization. They created Julia on the Autism Advocacy Self-Help. Yeah, Autism Help Self-Care Network or something like that. They created Julia, which is the character on Sesame Street with autism. They created her originally, and she was awesome.
Wow. So what is happening with the channel lately? I know that you've been really diving into helping out the cast members that really need it, and we actually the way we met is we did a collab for the Live Places movie marathon, and then right, the whole thing, and then right before that happened, she had a stream of her own that was about helping cast members. Then that inspired me, and the very next night I did the same thing and had her come on, and she kind of went through it again, and I kind of made comments, and so we basically have done a couple, in the last, like I said, in the last 30 days. So what's going on with you want to change the logo?
I'm trying to make it more representative of the autism that I would like to see represented, because
Right.
the thought of the puzzle piece also, Autism Speaks defined it as that we're missing something.
Right.
That there's something we're supposed to connect. My meaning with the puzzle piece as a child was that I was a unique individual, and that there's somebody, if somebody wants to be my friend, they will connect with me that way.
Right.
If that makes sense. So I didn't have the same meaning as what the organization said. So I was totally oblivious. But I also could change, instead of a blue puzzle piece, change it into a rainbow puzzle piece and still keep the same logo. I could do that too. Thinking about doing either. My channel, I'm looking to make more college program content. I know a lot of college program kids are very, very nervous right now in terms of status, especially with some of the housing being announced that they're not running anymore. I know a lot of college programmers that are looking forward to their programs or had programs are very, very nervous about if it's gonna come back. And so I just want to leave them with, some positivity and love to them as well. They also got kind of stuck in a really bad situation too, especially those fall kids. They were really so excited to come, and they were told that everything was going to be fine and that they were going to be able to come. And for them to their programs to be canceled weeks before they were coming, it was pretty devastating. Yeah. So I want to send love to them. I'm making content about that. I'm in the parks very soon, so we'll be making some videos about how I access the parks and how maybe you guys don't see it in the park, but how I, the little things that are captioned on the side that will have you guys all interact with what I do every single day.
Hey, Karki, how are you?
I love doing live streaming. That's been a lot of fun. I think I'm going to still keep that Friday show that I have, catching up with Kate at 10 p.m. Eastern on Friday nights. Right. Those have been really fun. Great way to end my week and start the weekend. I'm more focused on helping people realize, Disney has a connection to everyone, but for me, my connection with Disney is a lot stronger, and that's because it changed my life. It's changed my life twice. The first time, it taught me how to talk and taught me how to, get to the person I am today. If it wasn't for Toy Story, I would not be talking right now. I would still be a nonverbal child. So if I ever meet any of the animators one day or any of the voice characters, that's so important. And the second time, when Disney gave me that CP email that everyone wants, that you're working for Disney. And that was a life-changing moment to realize that you could be hired for Disney. That's a Fortune 500 company that has some of the biggest people in the world that you know of in entertainment that's working there. And to say that you're a part of that number is so awesome. And the CP numbers, they are not big. We had about 20,000 applicants on my particular year, which was 2016, and we only had 4,400 that was accepted. So it was 1 in 4,400 that got accepted, and there were 7 of us who had neurodiversity issues that I at least met. There could be a lot more. But to show that Disney is hiring for the ability and not judging. Yeah. Our ability to do the job. And that's what I love. And I will continue to support this company, even though they're going through rough patches. Trust me, they are going through their rough patches. However, I'll still support them because they're a company that changed my life for 2 times. And they're continuously part of, of my journey and my story. And they're helping me write my story, which is awesome.
It is. So, that was where I wanted to segue next, obviously, from what's behind me. Working for Disney as a disabled person. So it was a dream come true. It was like, wow.
It's like living in a fairy tale.
Did you find it hard trying to get hired because of any kind of... just not callbacks or, So my process is a lot different than typical cast members. Typical cast members would do a face-to-face interview or do a Skype interview with a combination of a face-to-face interview. Mine was a college program, which was a web-based interview that everyone took.
and then did a phone call. The phone call for me was more nerve wracking because my hearing, I have a hard time on the phone anyways. So I was nervous about that, not being able to understand the interviewer on the phone. And I did tell her ahead of time, I'm like, I'm sorry, I do have hearing loss issues. I may have to ask to repeat the question. And she's like, no problem. Like, that's fine. Like, she's like, I encourage that anyways. So go ahead with that. Like, she's like, I understand. It's like, sometimes you can't hear things on the phone. She's like, I couldn't imagine, honey, dealing with hearing loss and trying to figure out the phone. I'm like, you just deal with it. But I just said it's just a little bit more time consuming with me. They're like, she's like, well, we'll take a little bit more time than, typical interviewers. We'll make sure we get through all the questions. And if you have any questions to ask, and I told her, I said, I do tell, and she's like, do you typically tell your disabilities with interviewers? And I said, I do. I said, because autism is not a typical thing to see in the workplace right now. And it's a pretty big challenging roadblock because we're really the first generation of kids that are actually seeing success, whether it's college degrees in the workplace. So this is new to employers, seeing autistic people in the workforce. So I was not negative to the idea. I was told in school that I was not supposed to tell about my disabilities because I would get judged. And I can tell you from my first job, I was having that problem. I had about 8 or 9 interviews before I got hired for my first job as an 18-year-old. And a lot of and I had really bad eye contact after I told them about my disabilities. A lot of people had really bad eye contact. They made really random questions. So I knew I was getting, judge looks, even though they can't consider it discrimination. It still had that. Disney, I never had a problem with that. The hiring process was the most normal job interview I've ever had.
That's great.
Like the most to normal. The only thing she asked that was out of the ordinary, she said, and the interviewer said on the phone, she said, I'm sorry, I'm going to ask this because I want you to feel comfortable if you were to work for Disney, and I don't want you to be uncomfortable in any situation. She's like, I do know about overstimulation attacks. I do have somebody in my family who has sensory needs. I said, is there any places on Walt Disney World property that scares you as a first-time cast member that would worry you if you were working? She's like, please be Pacific, because she's like, I would write these down and I would make sure if you were in the talk of discussion to make sure that you're not put there. She's like, the last thing I want to do is hire you, live out your dream, but then you're overstimulated and overwhelmed. She's like, I don't want that.
Right.
So she said,
that's great.
And I said, that's a great question to ask. I said, why are you sorry? I said, that's a perfect question to ask. I said, you're being very legitimate. You're being very honest. You're just making sure that, you're finding success for both sides. And I said, that's the perfect way a disabled interviewer should work, is allowing us to work together to make something happen. And Disney Springs, they could have not picked a better place for my first time. It was a busy location. I still had stuff to do throughout the day, but I also got breaks here and there where it wasn't as busy throughout my day.
Where did you work at Disney Springs?
I worked at Disney's. I did at Pin Traders.
Ah.
This is considered Zone 1, but it's not Zone 1 anymore. They have recently changed it. Disney Springs went through a really big restructuring about a year ago. So I worked at Pin Traders, Marketplace Co-op, which is the best.
Right.
Love Marketplace Co-op. Trendy. And if you remember, around the corner, Trendy is the store that connects to Marketplace Co-op.
Oh, yeah.
That's Trendy.
I used to work at Earl of Sandwich at one point, so I was right in that Marketplace area, right across the street from, of course, Pin Traders. So I would leave there to try to get a break and go look at pins.
And do you remember around the corner there used to be a stroller rental around the corner from Trendy?
Yeah.
So I worked in that stroller rental for a few months before Town Center opened.
Oh.
And then
they did restructure.
And then once Town Center opened, that went to West Side. Sorry, West Side. Because Disney Springs and stroller rentals, a lot of people got mad with us because there was no gates and you had to charge like an extra fee to make sure people weren't stealing wheelchairs and ECVs.
Oh.
So a lot of people were upset about that because they thought it was just like the parks with the prices. So
Oh.
Hi, car key. We found our car key.
So yeah, Car
Sorry, I
Key,
had to
thanks
make
for
the joke.
joining
Thank you.
us. And let's see, I've been catching up sort of. I've been typing stuff out. Mickey's Ears, thanks for joining the stream. Car Key, thanks for joining us. Jim and Disinfinity, thanks for control. Isabel, thanks for being here. And James and Disinfinity, thank you for controlling the throngs of viewers. I appreciate it very much. Stay on it now.
That is a weird
Stay
way of
on it.
saying that.
Okay. When there's a Bob and Caitlin stream, it's thunderous. So you better stay on this. So it was a dream come true.
To be honest, the
What?
only people that can go over that is Corey Meets World and Resort TV One together. That's the only thing I can say that's a little bit more insane than we are.
Okay, so hold on 1 second. We're going to go back to this, but I really wanted to do this too. Let's see. Okay, so let's go to this. Hold on 1 second.
I was going to say, please don't have a giggle down in the back.
No. Okay, all right. Okay. I want to throw this out right now to Josh and Jenna. Sweet Jenna. I want to throw it out to Corey Meets World, especially of anyone. Actually, and I suggested this to Caitlin the other day. I want to really throw this out to Mr. Project himself with the goofy toilet paper questions in his chillin' interviews. I want to throw this out to Pete McDevitt. Pete, could you please get together with Caitlin and the rest of
for a show.
For some, especially because you might be able to make the connect between the big channels and the people with a few hundred subscribers like Caitlin and I. You could make the connection between, Caitlin, even if Caitlin was just walking around with Josh and Jenna for a night, just as part of the entourage, so that maybe at some point when there's 10,000 people watching a stream, she could just be sitting there as they're eating and turn the camera around and just give her, say you got 5 minutes and that's it. And what she could do about helping Disney cast members would be invaluable. And I'm telling you right now, I am a fired cast member and I'm going to the food pantry and I'm doing all these things. Right. But if you need to see it from anywhere else besides Caitlin and I, go to another disabled person's channel. It's Joey's World, and see what.
Amazing. And Joey.
I know. Go to It's Joey's World. Subscribe to them. Tell them we sent you. But really, go over there and look. And one of his most recent videos is him sobbing over the fact that he's starting to realize he's putting himself in the shoes of some of the people's faces that he's used to seeing. Some of these laid off entertainers, stuff like that, people who sold him food. And he's feeling really, really sad. And he's starting to promote with his family as best he can his own letter writing campaign to Disney to tell them how sad this is making him and how it made Disney such a special place. And they're draining away the magic. He's not saying those words, but that's what he's getting to. Right. So he's saying it over here in a much more, different way. Caitlin is saying it, I'm saying it, but we don't have a lot of viewers. And I don't know that people in Minnesota are getting it. But if they did, and they started writing the large corporation, the Disney Corporation, we all know they're hurting. But I was there yesterday streaming, and there were a lot of people there, regardless of whatever capacity they're in. I would love to see somebody make that connection with Caitlin. She's got the energy for it, obviously. She just needs just 5 minutes to shout it out there and maybe get a link to one of the bigger channels, and that would really help these people who need magic right now, these poor cast members who are... And I admitted this to you the other day, Caitlin. I said, when I was in the chat, I said, Caitlin, I'm scared. Because those cast members are trying to be magical and polite and politically correct with Disney, but they are scared. That's a really good adjective. So I'm throwing it out there. Pete, help her out. What?
And it's okay to be scared. It's okay to feel that way. By the way, that was my dryer that just went off, so I apologize if you heard that went down.
Come on.
Well, the problem is, this is my room. I'm technically in the dining room space, so I don't have a door, so I don't have anywhere to close.
I think you have the same maid that I have, because it looks very familiar.
I know. Well, I have my suitcases on the floor. I'm actually, to be honest, this is very clean compared to a normal day. Just because I've been working and doing crazy things, I just decided today to just make sure everything was clean, ready to go, so that way when I came back to the house, I would have a nice, clean house.
Nice.
Come back to. But yeah, I'm getting some connect with some of them. Pete, I am on the docket for his show in March. We had to switch days because one of my favorite authors is Positively Disney. I really like her. She's interviewed some really big people. Bob Gurr, she interviewed, big guy at ABC. And so he said, hey, your original date she's available for, and it's the only date she's available for. I'm like, let her have it. I said, that is one of my favorite people on the planet. Like, I would love to hear you interview her. You know, I mean, it's awesome. And he's like, don't worry. Like, I want you on an interview. I have to do it later in the year. I said, don't worry about it. Like, I'm still going to be on the show. Like, and maybe I'll grow even more by then, you know?
Yeah.
But for me, I'm trying to help people realize, you know, that I'm a human just like everyone else. I would love to have a chance, you know, to grow into this community. And please be respectful and patient with me if I unintentionally did something wrong in the chat. Please just, if you guys don't think I know, like, please tell me, because a lot of times I unintentionally do it and then I forget about it, and then, you know, so many things.
You're better than I am at I watch your stuff, and you're way better than I am. I forget. I have no attention span. I just totally forget. Either I'm totally into the chat and I'm not engaging with the person I'm talking to, or I totally forget about them. And James is like, you got to talk to the people in the chat. James Ryan. What's he saying? Hello, Carol. Lovely as always to see you at Car Key. Is that Car Key's name, Carol?
Carol,
cool.
Yes.
I know. I didn't know who Car Key was. I didn't
Car Key's awesome. Hi, Carol.
I mean, I know who Karki is because we say hi back and forth, but I didn't know. I don't know people's real names.
It's a running joke in the community. They say, hey, we found our car key.
Is that it? Make It Blue Adventures liked your photo. It just came through now? Seriously? We've been on for...
I was going to say, I like that way before.
It just said on the desktop, it just said you liked an Instagram photo that I sent out, and we've been on for 57 minutes, and it's just telling me now. I'm like, wow, you're on it. That is a fast computer. Let me tell you what. Okay, so let's see. So channel updates.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay.
One of my cast member friends just tested positive for COVID.
Oh, no.
She said she's doing okay now. She just went through it, but she said COVID is real. It's not a joke or a hoax. The toll is taken on you mentally, physically, and emotionally. Wear a mask, social distance, wash your hands, take care of yourself. Amen to that.
Now,
sorry.
You know, I know all the political ramifications. I know about all the political ramifications, so I'm not going to get into that. But I will say one thing: if this thing is real,
it is real.
I know. I'm not going to tell you what I think, but I'm just going to throw out the devil's advocate. If it is real, a scientist today basically said that the wear and tear that it has on your body is like aging you 10 years. Okay, so I'm 58. So if I were to get it and I were all of a sudden 68, I'm wishing that I was 22 again. I don't want that. I really don't want it. I wouldn't want to chance it. When I'm at Disney, trust me, I'm like slathered in... I'm streaming and I'm bumping into handrails and stuff. I'm slathering the hand sanitizer on my arms. I look like a raccoon taking a bath in hand sanitizer yesterday, and I'm holding the gimbal, and some lady's looking over at me like, he's weird. So I'd be careful if I were you. That's just what I have to say.
I just read her post at the end of it. She is okay. She just finished recovering. She's past 2 weeks, so she's doing good. She was
Oh,
just saying to tell people to be careful.
oh.
Basically, that's why she was posted. She said it's not a sympathy post, just be careful.
All right, so what's next? I know you're really good at just jumping on Instagram and dancing and being really impulsive. Cool. But do you have something you're trying? You're going to get with Pete in March. I'm actually going to get with him in April. What's your next thing you see in your sort of calendar plan within like the next month to have for shows on your channel?
I've been trying to get Viapre Project together for a Lego stream.
Oh,
That has been fun. Ed and Mindy have supported my channel since I was just just when I turned 200. They shouted me out in one of their live streams. They're like, "Congrats for hitting 200!" And so I wanted to talk to them. What else is going on with me? I just celebrated getting a second job, so that's exciting. So that's another part of my plan. Yay! And it was actually funny because it was on the interview hire. Like they asked me for the job in the interview.
Oh, really?
Which I've never had before, and I was like, wait, you're not asking for a second interview?
Didn't you just jump to something? That's good. They must have thought you were just custom made for it. That's terrific.
What else am I thinking of? Right now, my trip is on my mind. Rightfully so. I'm actually trying to make a video about how I access the parks, whether it's on TikTok or on YouTube. I am going to be sharing about the closed captioning system throughout Walt Disney World, whether it's on the buses.
That would be great. I would love to see that. I really was thinking about Mike Wheeler. I would really love to see that. That's very interesting.
And the same device that uses closed captioning is also for audio description as well. So I can describe to you guys what it is. The same system is used at some of the biggest stadiums and museums in the world. And Disney uses the same system. They just use their own software for that particular system for Walt Disney World. I don't believe it's at Disneyland yet, but I believe it's in the process. But I use mirror captioning. That is what I actively use. That is plexiglass towards the front of the theater. So if I was watching PhilharMagic, for example, I would be sitting in front of a seat with a plexiglass. And if you guys seen in the back of the theater, there is a electronic board that says Walt Disney World Resort in backwards. If you notice that. So if you have plexiglass in front of you, it is flipped. It is the correct way. And it actively captions the show. Right. In real time. So it's a way for me to enjoy the shows. Except for things like Fantasmic, you can't really do that. The fireworks, you can't really do that. Because that would kind of ruin the show because you can't look up. There's some things where we have to sacrifice. But I would love to share that with you guys. It's very controversial. I'm thinking about doing something about GAS Pass. The old pass, because I did use that. That was my pass, the GAS, the guest access pass before it's now.
I was going to ask you about that. I didn't want to interrupt. I'm sorry, but I wanted to ask you about that a little earlier. I did a DAS pass video last year because there was a lot of hubbub. Remember I told you there was another YouTuber whose girlfriend and there was a thing that happened. I'm not going to mention who, but it made me interested in finding out. And somebody said if you have diabetes, you can't get a DAS pass. What the heck is that? And I do. And so I went and I showed getting a DAS pass and what was involved, even though I didn't use it. And I wanted to know, do you use DAS passes? So if you do that, that'd be interesting to see.
So I haven't used DAS since that entire disability system I have not used since I was maybe 12 or 13 years old. Luckily, my mom at some point said, hey, you need to be independent and not rely and learn to love the parks on your own because you are going so much. If it was somewhere brand new, like if it was, because I didn't go to Disneyland very much. If it was at Disneyland, we would use it because I'm not common to the environment. However, Walt Disney World, I was going every year or even multiple times a year, even now. So
Right.
for me, it made more sense for my mom to say, hey, we're going to pull this back a little bit. We're going to make sure that you kind of can also, and it helps. And that was the time where I felt the most confidence too, was at the parks. So she wanted me to help. She kind of used Disney as a tool to help me be independent in the
Right.
parks. And to grow that confidence level of saying, okay, I don't need services all the time. Like, I only need what I need. And that was what she was trying to communicate with me in my own way. So we pulled away the DAS pass around 13 to 12. I luckily started figuring out what my triggers were and what I could stay away from, what things I couldn't. So, like, dinosaur is a big one. Can't ride dinosaur anymore. It's too much. I hate all the throw rides, so that's a big one. And
Oh, come on.
terrified.
You don't
I'm
like that
terrified.
dinosaur coming and lumbering over you and screaming
thing
in your
is
face?
that-
What's your problem?
Well, the thing is, there's the vibration of the
Oh, yeah.
vehicle is a lot, and then the
I don't think
background
a lot of people like that. I wouldn't take that, you know, if you have an
especially with someone with
overstimulation thing.
sensory needs, it's very important.
No.
Yeah, dinosaur is one of them. Rock and roller coaster, I'm actually medically not allowed to ride due to my hearing loss.
Which one?
Rock and roller coaster.
Rock and roller coaster.
So I have been told by audiologists multiple times that I'm not allowed to ride that attraction, which is great because
Right.
I don't prefer ride. So it's an automatic pass for
no.
me and my mom to not ride it.
Yeah. That's good.
And I'm
you have
terrified of
permission.
heights. And I'm terrified of heights. I'm like Walt. I don't like Tower of Terror. I don't like drop rides. I'm afraid of heights. Ooh, I got nervous on Skyliner when it stopped for 2 minutes.
I was with a disabled friend who got on Tower of Terror. This is actually going to make you think of that ride in another way. Okay.
Oh, no.
The mom, I said, I don't think this is, and it was an overstimulation sort of issue. I don't think we should go on this. And the mom's like, no, this is a lot of money. We should get on this. And I was like, and she was like, okay, well, how about just you and he get on, Uncle Bob? So we get on, and he's okay, and I'm like, it's okay, it's all right. Just we'll get in that corner seat. You hold on to the handle and everything, right? Okay,
seat.
but what happened is, we were going up,
Oh, man. James already.
and somewhere in the going up and everything, he vomited. And all of the vomit, basically, you know, you're suspended in air. All of the vomit basically went up into the ceiling where the mesh and the wire is. And then when we went down and the gravity came back, the entire car was showered with his vomit. And and I was like, oh, man.
Poor Cass.
I know. I'm like, oh. So whenever I have that issue, it's like, you know, I don't like thrill rides. It's like, yeah, we're not going on Tower of Terror. Thank you.
Nope, no Tower of Terror. I actually like Big Thunder. Like, I can ride Big Thunder, Space Mountain. I can ride. But it's just some of them that don't. James, really? Why did you have to do that today? You could have given me a pass today.
Go, James. Don't let up on her.
Well, the problem is that I actively think that it's happening, and then I don't, you know. And that's worse than actually just giving me a pass for one night. Especially
That's
for
funny.
a Disney trip, I'm a little bit more antsy. I'm a little bit more stressful. You know, traveling is stressful right now. So,
Right.
and my work week has been stressful, so that doesn't help.
Well, I mean, that kind of, that besides videos
yeah,
coming up,
yeah,
that's sort
so
of,
I do avoid things, but this, I did tell you, I think this trip, I think we might be getting it just to be safe. We have not gone to Disney on a holiday where it's expected to be busy in a long time.
Yeah.
I went to Halloween a few years ago on a solo trip, but luckily they moved the Halloween party to November 1st and 2nd instead of the 31st that year, so nobody was in the parks. So it was perfect for me. But I haven't been to a busy park since then. So I told my mom, I said, we might just have to be safe and just get it. And if, you know, I need it, I can use it. But then I wouldn't have to rely on it. She's like, I'm okay with that. She's like, why do you feel like it's going to be busy? I'm like, I feel like it's going to be busy, but I feel like the crowds around me are going to give me anxiety. And I don't like that. but I know that it's because there's not many things open either. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know it's there for a reason, but it's also giving me anxiety. So that's also not helpful. So I'm going to figure that out. I'm hoping that I don't have to get it if I go to Disney, you know, if I go to Coronado Springs and I feel good, I'll be good. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Oh, no.
What's he saying? Hold on a second. I don't know. I think my mod colleague, Disinfinity, is seriously considering becoming a member of the Loyal Order of Giggle Counters. Oh, he is a smart young man. I think you just hooked him. He's going to take that challenge. He's going to take that bait there, Jim. So you're doomed. I'll never get her on this show again unless she makes Disinfinity a mod herself. She'll be like, I can't get ganged up on. This is terrible. Well, I really appreciate seeing you again, and I know you're not going to go to Animal Kingdom where I'm streaming tomorrow, so nope. I guess I won't catch up with you on this trip. I'm going to be
traveling tomorrow, so.
Okay. And where do you travel from?
I'm in North Carolina. That's where.
North Carolina, really cool, very cool. I used to live up in that neck of the woods.
About a year ago in June, so.
Oh, so how are you liking it up there? You're having a fall, so that's kind of nice.
It's really nice.
Right? That's great. That's great.
And this is the drawer of my logo.
Oh, hey, how are you? We love that logo. We dissected it and talked about it. I really was interested in wanting to see that. That's cool.
By the way, that reminds me. Is there any way you can make the puzzle piece a rainbow? Or change it into a neurodiversity infinity sign. One of the two. I know, girly. She's been asked of projects. She's actually making something for Zippity Doodad for his new office or his new studio. That's been fun.
On top of working.
Her day has been interesting.
Yeah.
Let's just say her work dealt with a bomb threat, which makes it interesting.
That's not good. Caitlin, you have a safe and wonderful trip and enjoy your trip back home and Chahol and every day. That's cool.
Yeah, we're excited.
Well, hey there, Allie. Great to see you.
Allie gets to stay home.
Thanks, Bob and Caitlin. Thanks all in the chat. I still have work to finish. All right, Carol. Nice to see you. And I'll call you Carol sometimes too, because you can. Because I can. So yeah, I'll throw it out there one more time. Pete McDevitt. Actually, I'm going to contact Pete and I'm going to ask him what he thinks about that myself. I hope I don't annoy him too much, but I threw it out there in public just because I knew that would be annoying.
Pete actually put up actually on the Clubhouse page. If you guys are on that page,
he put it up on that.
He did post approve my post of the stream I had with Dana from Magic Makers. He did approve that post. So that post is up on the page. It has not gotten liked yet. So if you guys would go and like that, so more people can see it, that would be great. I just told Pete, I said, sorry, it's a long post, but I realized I never posted on it, and most people who are new probably don't know a heck about me.
Oh.
So it'd be like, hey, I needed to make an introduction for myself, and I knew it was going to be a long post. I said, I knew not many people were going to interact because a lot of the posts were really short. So, but it's just a tiny little Facebook page. It just started, you know what I mean? So.
Oh, the Clubhouse thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got on there a couple of times, but I give a heck about you, and I really, if I were your Uncle Bob, I'd say I'm proud of you for doing what you're doing for the cast members, and I'm a cast member too, so I thank you from that perspective. And I know we'll catch up with each other again soon. Probably not another 3 streams in the next 30 days, but we'll probably get to something. We'll cross paths again. And if there's any, if there's any new,
this Infinity says that Josh Gad donated to laid off cast members.
That's very cool. That's
Was
great.
he on a live stream or what? How did you find? Where was he donating it to? Is my question.
Where did you see that, Disinfinity? Was that just in the news generally? The
Because
WDW
I do think
news?
he does care about cast members too, because he does go to the parks quite a bit. Him and John Stamos is like the two most visited in Walt Disney World.
You know who another guy is? Chris Evans, Captain America. He came to Earl a sandwich and ordered a sandwich from me. That's all I'm saying.
Awesome.
I'm like, because I'm talking to him, and I'm looking down, looking at, and all these people are going, "Hey Cap, hey Cap." I'm like, oh
Poor
shoot.
guy, and the poor guy who just wants to get it. Inside the Magic reported on it.
Inside the Magic reported it. Interesting. We're gonna have to check that out.
Disinfinity, if you look on his social media and you find out where he donated to, will you please let me know? Because I will feature that when I come back to streaming. Not this week Friday, but the week after, please. Thank you.
Well, the voice of Olaf, Mr. Josh Gad, just contributed, just donated to laid off cast members. I don't know if he.
I'm hoping it's to the cast member pantry because that would be awesome.
I was thinking it's probably that. And I'm going to make sure that.
Guys. Make sure you guys support Give Kids the World. Also.
What was that? Say that again.
Give Kids the World. Village, the Million Lights thing.
Yes.
I had a family member who stayed at Give Kids the World last year in August. Actually, my uncle went for the first time, and he's never really understood why I went to Disney so much. And when he got from back his trip, he sent me a text, and he says, I get it. I get what you were trying to tell us. Stephanie loved it. And I sent Resort TV 1. I did tell him, I said, hey, thank you for posting this. I have a family member in Chicago that would love to see it. She just got her service dog, which is awesome. He's so cute. And so I'm so excited for her to see that and just kind of resemble Give Kids the World. And if you guys don't know what Give Kids the World is, it's a nonprofit that helps Make-A-Wish grant wishes for those who want to visit Central Florida theme parks, which is great.
Please donate to Give Kids the World.
Kids
I'll
the
actually
World.
I'll put a link underneath this video to that. And also, I'm going to try to, if there are updates in the helping cast member situation, I'm going to try to post that on every new video.
The only thing I haven't figured out is childcare. There's no childcare help right now. So if you guys know of people in the Orlando area that needs help with childcare, please have them reach me or reach Dana. That would be well needed right now. And then Disney Aspire with the actual colleges. I'm gonna email Valencia and UCF soon, see if they're gonna put an emergency fund together to help Disney Aspire students, because I do think that they can do that. And just help them out a little bit, because I know that those kids are gonna struggle to pay for that. So those are the two things I know right now. And if you're a cast member, please print your summer comp tickets. If you're still a cast member who has just gotten laid off, please go do that now before you lose access to the hub. And
I'm one of those laid off cast members that got laid off like 3 weeks ago or whatever. And your release date isn't for a while. Like she was just saying, the people that just got fired or laid off, their release date is like at the end. I know. I think I went through denial, and I basically was not even thinking about that, and then I said laid off, and now I'm to the point where it's like,
it's not really a fire.
No, okay, you know what I like to say? Okay, because Mr. Banks,
more of a disconnect.
Mr. Banks gets, at the end of Mary Poppins, Mr. Banks gets sacked before he goes and flies a kite. So that's what I'm saying for now. For right now, I'm sacked, but that doesn't mean I'm not coming back. So I'll be sprinkling the pixie dust on your safety bar. You better wait and see. Thank you, Caitlin, very much. We will see you all real soon. And it was a joy talking to you again.
Thanks everybody for joining. Bye-bye. I think this was so much fun. But yeah, with that, I think I think I need to say my ending because it's more magical and at the end
Say
of the day. So, as cast members, like Bob and I both say to every single one of our guests, have a magical day, guys, and I will see you in the next one of his videos. Technically not mine.
All right, see you real soon. Why? Because we like
Because
you.
we like you.
All right.